put those hands together again for Jia Zhangke. If I understand correctly, the Go West sequence was shot quite a long time before the rest of the film. And I guess that I just want to start the conversation with that, whether that led to you developing the story.
所以一开始呢 ，Go West 是不是很早之前就在其他片段还没拍的时候就已经拍了？那或者是就说你怎么把就是以前拍的东西和现在拍的东西合起来？
想拍这个电影的时候，在写剧本的时候，我知道这个电影应该是一个情感跟时间的关系，因为我觉得随着时间的推移，我会遇到很多新的情感问题，也会对过去的情感有新的理解，所以对我来说时间很重要。这样我把电影的开始确定在1999年。
So when I first thinking about making these films, I was writing a screenplay, and I wanted to be very much about a sense of time, and also will be a film about love and human emotions. So the reason why for that is because as time passed, I somehow can recollect a lot of emotions and loves and all those human dramas I experienced before, and I had new understanding of them. And that's why I really want to somehow set the first episode around the time of 1999.
选择1999年是因为对于中国人来说，99年是一个分界线。99年之前和99年之后，恰好是互联网生活。有了互联网生活之前跟之后，有手机之前跟手机之后，普遍的开始有高速公路之前跟高速公路之后，那是一个我觉得就是新的一个就是快速增长的经济到来的时刻。
And I do think that this is 1999 was a very, very crucial time, almost like a benchmark or a turning point for a lot of things that we experienced in China before 1999. That's the time when we were introduced internet, we were introduced cell phones, we were introduced a lot of infrastructure such as freeways and highways. And that's the reason why I really want to use it as a starting point.
那想拍那个时候呢，我就想起我也是从99年开始有了我的第一台 DV camera， 然后我拿那个 digital video 在当时拍了很多纪录片，然后我想看一看那时候人们穿什么样的衣服，怎么样说话，然后我就找到那些素材，我看的这些素材里面第一个部分就是 disco。
And that was also the time that I had my first DV camera. And at the time when I first had this toy of mine, I would take the camera and I would just make documentary footage wherever I go. And I want to really document how people dressed and how people talk, how people carry themselves in 1999. And that sort of gave me an inspiration of using these raw footage to somehow incorporate them into the first episode.
那看完之后，我觉得对我来说特别的震撼，因为那个时候人的状态，那种刚刚有 disco 时候那种压抑了很久的内心的那种激动，就是通过跳舞表现出来，那个人物的状态，我觉得太棒了。我决定就是在这个电影里用一些记录的素材。
And a crucial part of the footage that I re-examined and really touched the movie the most would be the sequence and the footage I shot in a disco club. And the way people dance, the people express themselves as an individuals and really touched me on many different levels. And I really want to use that to start this particular film.
那我自己的剧本的开始呢，也就写3个年轻人他们在 disco 里面。那个 disco 在90年代末是中国年轻人最喜欢的娱乐的方法。那我也想起 Go West 这首歌，在我们年轻的时候，在disco 里面，在迪厅里只有到晚上12点的时候 DJ 才放这首歌，告诉大家新的一天要到了。然后认识不认识的年轻人把手放在前面的肩膀上，然后一起跳，就。对我来说，这首歌它有一种自由的感觉，有一种有那个时代的记忆。
So since I was designing this particular triangle romantic relationship as the main plot line for this particular film, I immediately recall the disco footage that I have shot, and I really think that this is definitely, at the time, it's a collective memories of our generation. During that time in 1999, that's the most popular form of entertainment, and then people would go to disco clubs, and then around midnight, well, actually at midnight sharp, the club would then play Go West to indicate that this is a new day. And also that also a signal for all the dancers, well, all the club goers, to go hand in hand, arm in arms, and they would dance in synchronization with certain choreography that we actually figured out ourselves, and then we would dance in synchronization unison, and that to me is a sense of freedom, especially freedom as an individual, and that is definitely a common collective memories of at the time.
Questions? Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I want to ask about the decision to change aspect ratios throughout the film, starting from a narrower frame for 99 up, and then you have the wide frame for the future. So you could talk about the decision to change the ratio throughout.
谈一下这个评比的改变，从窄到宽到更宽到宽屏，是有什么样的概念或是什么样表达？
一开始的时候我没有想到要改变画幅但是我决定用这些99年拍的纪录片素材的时候，我面临一个问题，因为那些素材当时digital video 只能拍1:1.33的画幅，就方形的。那我也有想过说要不要把它变成，就是改变它的画幅，但是后来我决定保留那个画幅，整个99年都用那个画幅。
So the first, actually, we didn't think about changing the aspect ratios as the story progressed. But when we trying to incorporate the raw footage I shot in 1999, at the time, the technology in terms of the DV camera that I had, it's only can be shot in 1:1.33 ratio. So it's not until later on I decided that to keep that particular ratio, and then as the story and plot lines progress, then I would change the ratio from the narrower to wider and to the widescreen.
因为我觉得对我来说，当时我的构图是按1:33来进行的，我不想破坏当时我的构图时候的决定。
And of course, the reason why I don't want to change the ratio for the raw footage I have shot in 1999 is because it was shot in 1:1.33. And that's how I compose, and in terms of the composition of the shot that I have taken. So I didn't want to destroy that, and that's why I want to maintain that type of authenticity and originality.
那第二个部分，2014年的部分也用了一些纪录片的素材，主要是煤矿的那一段是这几年我拍的。然后这几年拍的时候，我用的都是1:1.85的画幅，那我也没有改变它。
And for the second episode, in terms of the 2014 episode, I also incorporate certain raw footage, documentary raw footage that I have shot sort of more recently, and they were shot in 1:1.85 aspect ratio. And the footage that you saw in terms of the coal mining part, and actually a lot of them were shot with 1:1.85 ratio.
那最后一个已经有2个不同的画幅，那最后就决定澳大利亚部分拍成1:2.39。
And since I already have 2 different aspect ratios and with 2 different episodes, so it was sort of naturally for the last one, I decided to use 1:2.39 for the Australia section.
那恰好它也是一个对我来说也是不同时代的一个区别。
And to me also punctuate the different time periods of these different 3 episodes.
可能对我来说难度比较大的是给了摄影指导跟灯光师难度，因为还有美术指导，因为我们要把演员的表演跟老的纪录片糅合到一起，所以景的就是重新做那个景和灯光，要完全恢复到纪录片时候的那个状态。
And I did think that the biggest challenge for me to somehow integrate the old footage with the new one is to somehow, how can you make them look so seamlessly? And therefore, it's a big challenge for cinematographer, for art directors, and also for lighting design to somehow make sure that the new footage that I'm going to shoot now will match perfectly with the old ones that I already had.
Hi, thank you. I was really impressed and frightened by this vision of the future where Zhang's real son is Google Translate, and where Dollar can't seem to remember anything, and nobody seems to be able to remember anything any longer. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on the implications of on the implications for our memory and our identity of these devices that we're relegating more and more of our faculties to.
他说，在第3段的时候，尤其在未来那部分，他是非常喜欢，也非常的觉得会很多是省思。那有一部分是有关，就是像Dollar在后来跟他爸爸说，你的儿子其实是谷歌翻译，而不是我。然后你会觉得说，在这样的一个未来里面，你觉得科技和我们用的这些科技，对我们自己本身的就身份会有做什么样的巨大的改变？那你对未来是有怎样的一个想法？
对，的确，拍这个电影的时候，我觉得，科技对我们情感方法的影响是让我非常这个震惊的一个发现。
And I think one of the main theme, also the impetus for me to make this film, is to really examine how technology changed the way people relate to each other and express human emotions.
我觉得也包括在中国，也包括消费主义的这种价值观，就是不知不觉中，它跟科技、经济一起，偷偷的进入到我们最私密的部分，影响我们的和改变我们的处理情感的方法。
And I think that not only technology, but also the consumerisms and the change of value system, along with the technology transformation, that really dramatically and fundamentally changed the way we express something that is so intimate to us, the human emotions, the way we choose to express them or not express them, and because the technology and the consumerism and the change of value system really completely change the landscape of that expression.
对，就是所以我在中国经常开玩笑，我说中国这个文学里面很重要的一个东西，思念，可能变成古典主义的东西了。因为过去没有高速公路，没有汽车，没有私家汽车，没有手机，人和人隔了30公里就会有很多的思念，真的联络不上了。
So I do think that if you look at Chinese literature, that this concept of you're longing and missing someone. And I do think that might become a thing in the past, because in the past, if you don't have railroads, you don't have those internets and then social network, WeChat, and you really will miss someone because of the separation of distance and time and space, and that will really tease out the feelings, the most intimate feelings of longing and missing someone. And I think that might be something like that in Chinese literature will become, I guess, classical literature in the future.
那就是人和人联络方便了，但是感受对方的这种机会，感受对方的那种时间却失去了。所以在电影里面，这个妈妈会特意选一个慢的火车，带着孩子，说是火车慢一点，我们在一起的时间多一点。的确，我们过去有充沛的时间去了解、理解、感受我们爱的人。
And I do think that is the reason why I used a particular clip of the mothers sitting with the son in a slow train. It's because I do think that right now, because of technology, it is so easy and so fast for you to have connection with other people, but at the same time is that the time element is missing, that we're sort of we're under the pressure of doing everything so fast and so quickly, and we don't really have the time to really foster that type of deeper feelings of human connections. And that's why I actually use this particular clip, this particular sequence and scene to demonstrate that how I'm nostalgic about this idea of taking your time to really express and to also internalize that deep emotions between loved ones.
那个 Google Translator 那个细节，我是在资料收集的时候发现的，因为我为了拍这个电影，我去了多伦多、温哥华、纽约、华盛顿和墨尔本，去到中国人，特别是山西人的家庭里面。我是在华盛顿的一个朋友的家里看到他跟他的儿子在用 Google Translator 沟通，我非常的惊讶。
So in terms of the details of the Google Translate in the film, actually I discovered that when I was doing my research for this film, I traveled quite a bit and interviewed a lot of immigrants from Shanxi province to other countries or other cities, including Toronto, Vancouver, New York, Washington, and Melbourne. And that particular detail came from an actual immigrant families that I interviewed the father, and that was the way that the only way he could interact and also communicate with his son is through Google Translate.
Yeah, in the back.
Hi, thank you. During the first half of the film, it seemed to me that in each shot there was movement in the foreground and the background, so that it defines the two temporal zones of the frame. And so I'm wondering if that was conscious, and was it meant to somehow put in our minds the background, of course, as past, and the foreground as present, to prepare us for the rest of the film.
他说呢，在前半部的电影里面，在每一个就是镜头里面都有它的前景和背景的人活动的状况。那通常在你是觉得是用这样的方式把这些不同的时间的区块的感觉把它做出来，就是背景是过去，前景就是未来，然后是不是有这样一个刻意的方式去把这个取景，然后设计这样的一个镜头？
他的意思就是在前面
前半部里面
过去的部分，
对，
就是背景前景人走的比较多。
对对对。
实际上就是我觉得从1999年到2014年，一直到2025年，就是在场面调度的时候，我逐渐的这个有一个过渡，就是在99年的时候，人和人之间很密集，就是人的密度很高，包括街上的人，包括这个我们调度了这个在男女主角周围调度了很多人，因为在那个时候，我觉得还处在一个传统的、很热的、很互动性很强的人际关系的状态里面，它是改变，就它开始改变了，但是还保留了人和人之间的亲密，然后逐渐的就是人被人和人之间疏远起来、疏离起来。那么在后面的段落，特别到2025年，那个主角他们背景，不论是背景还是前景，减少了人，他们更加的孤独。
So in terms of the mise-en-scène that I want to put together, going from 1999 to 2014 and all the way to 2025, is to use the idea of the density of the people you see on screen to somehow showcase whether or not the intimacy, the close connection people used to have, and how it has lost and as time progressed. So if you see the 1999 section around the main characters, you will see very, very densely populated street, and then people, even though it's already start changing, but at the same time, there's still some warm intimacy and connections among the people on the street. And then later on, of course, to the 2014, you will see that it's less so. And then, especially for the third episode, you do see that now you don't see a lot of human connections and a lot of people going, whether or not it's foreground or backgrounds, that it just, to convey a sense of isolation, convey a sense of alienation.
从颜色上来说也有一个变化，在99年的部分，我们追求那种高饱和的颜色很鲜艳的那个色彩，那是我们记忆中90年代的颜色。然后到了2014年，到了现在，就是你能感觉到背后有一个污染，有一个工业的污染的感觉在。那么到了2025年，就是整个有一点超现实，人好像生活在玻璃跟塑料里面。
And also for the 3 different episodes, I want to use the colors and the tones of the film to somehow punctuate each period. So for the first period, I used very, very high saturated colors, and that's the way I remember this particular era. And then from the 2014 and the current time, you can see the colors sort of mixed with some type of pollutants, and it's polluted somehow. And then for the 2025, of course, color-wise, it's very surrealistic, and almost as if that we have been wrapped in plastic and glass and nothing else.
但是实际上拍的时候最难拍的是99年，因为99年不应该有雾霾，但是我们拍的时候每天都有雾霾，所以等那个没有雾霾的天，等天蓝，花费了很多时间。
And the hardest part to shoot was the 1999 section, is because since I wanted to have high saturated colors, and the place that we were shooting, actually a lot of pollution, a lot of dust and mist and fogs, and also just general air pollution. We have to really wait for the right moment to have a clear blue sky for us to actually start shooting. So that was the most challenging one to shoot.
Yes, one more.
I'm from Hong Kong. So you keep using the Hong Kong singer Sally Yip as a background music, but they don't really understand the song about, because they don't understand Cantonese. So, but why you using this song, keep using it?
影片中一直用到香港的叶倩文这条歌，那他们主故事的主人公，他们根本听不懂这个歌词在说什么。那为什么会用这样子一个音乐一直在出现在这个电影里面？虽然说这所有人他们对歌词的内容都不太了解。
你说电影里的人还是？
对，电影里的人。
我想电影里面的人，他们应该是能懂这个歌词的，因为当时在中国出版这个 CD 或者磁带的时候，都会有翻译的歌词在那个包装里面。
So I do think that the characters in this film, they should understand, if they not the actual Cantonese, but when they purchase the tape, it always will come with a Chinese translation of that. So they might have some sense of what this song is about.
当然我没有电影里面没有交代他们就是这个细节。
But we didn't really somehow take care of those details in the film.
我也是从80年代末开始喜欢上叶倩文的歌。
And I personally became a fan of Sally Yip's songs, and that was around the end of 1980. So personally, I was a big fan of hers.
因为我那个时候特别喜欢吴宇森的电影，他演过吴宇森的电影，也在他的电影里面唱歌。
And at the time, I really enjoyed director Wu Yusen's film, and she was in Wu Yusen's films, and also Zhang Wu. And also, she sang in those films by Zhang Wu, so that's sort of definitely again, the punctuation of time. For me, it means something.
越到这2年，我越爱他的歌。最近这几年，我
So
更加
the past 2 years, and I become even, I love the songs, even her songs even more so now than before.
对，因为在他的歌里面， 他的情感方法特别复杂，他不仅有我喜欢你，你喜欢我这么简单，而且还有背后跟这个相爱的人一起度过难关的这个故事的感觉。
So because I do think that all her love songs, that it's not these very simplistic way of I love you, you love me, and it's more than just the sort of two-way street of love, but it's that how we actually experience a lot of challenges and difficulties and how we somehow overcome those challenges and difficulty together as lovers. So to me, and there are many, many different levels and layers of how love can be expressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
谢谢。